Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the ZTech India Limited Q1FY27 earnings conference call. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during this conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then zero on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Ms. Sanghamitra Borgohain, Managing Director from ZTech India Limited. Thank you, and over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Adhijat. Good afternoon, everyone, and a very welcome to all our investors, analysts, and stakeholders joining today for ZTech India Limited Q1 for financial year 2026-27 earnings conference call. I am joined today by Ms. Isa Chaudhary, our Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Sunil Farawat, our Chief Business Officer, along with our senior management team and investor relations advisors. Thank you for being with us and for the continuous confidence you place in ZTech India. We have entered the financial year 27 with strong momentum. Q1 was not only a quarter of growth, but also a quarter that demonstrated the strength of the platform we have been building. Revenue from operations increased to rupees 29.14 crore from 20.48 crore in the corresponding quarter last year, while profit after tax increased to rupees 4.05 crore from 3.04 crore. What is particularly encouraging in the quality of this growth? Our creative park development and operation business continues to gain scale with new park launches on the horizon and execution of new revenue generation opportunities. I am pleased to announce that we have received the mandate for construction and operations of Lakkush Park in Ayodhya, adding to our already large operational footprint in Uttar Pradesh. Our terror vertical is attracting new projects given the geotechnical challenges the country faces, especially during the monsoon. We have secured projects in RD walls and we have various inquiries in mines and slope protections which are undergoing. The aqua side of our business is also keeping us busy, and as the concerns about water scarcity revived by uneven rainfall across the country, and the effects have been driven businesses to double down the wastewater management. As we move through the financial year 27, our ambition is clear: convert and larger project pipeline into operation assets, strengthen recurring revenues streams, and execute with discipline so the business growth we achieve is sustainable over the long term and on the larger scale. This progress would not only be possible without the dedication of our employees and support of our client and the government partners and the trust of our shareholders. I would like to sincerely thank every one of us for being part of the journey. With that, I'm pleased to hand over the call to Mr. Sunil Farawat to take through the businesses and the operational highlights of the quarter. Over to you, Sunil ji.
Thank you, Sanghamitra ji, and good afternoon to everyone. As Sanghamitra ji has mentioned, that Q1 of 2026 has started on a high note, and it reinforces the direction of ZTech where it is evolving. We are making steady progress in our objective of moving from a construction-led model to an operationally annuity-led model. And this has been a continuous endeavor, over the last couple of years to probably build this unique platform and create a new category, not only in India, but in the world. If we look around, in the entire, space of outdoor park development, we have carved out a very special niche for ourselves, and we continue to strengthen it with every passing day. Our ambition to probably offer one district, one park in the country remains very strong, and we remain very optimistic. Our experience of last, several quarters since we started the operations of Khurja and Moradabad has reinforced the need for such parks, which is not only restricted to the metro cities of India, it is probably right up to the tier 2 and tier 3 towns of, of this country. The FY26-27, the Q1, the Creative Park division gave a result of almost 22 odd crore rupees compared to around 15 crores in the previous quarter of, 25-26, representing a growth of over 40%. It contributed nearly 3/4 of our revenue from operations during the quarter, which fits well into the model of moving from a construction-led model to a annuity-led model. Every park we develop has the potential to become a long-term operating asset with recurring revenue opportunities across, starting from ticketing to food and beverages to events, sports, adventure activities, brand partnerships, and other recreational experience. There are multiple opportunities which exist, not necessarily as we speak we have been able to, create a position into each of these revenue spaces, but our endeavor is to work towards that we are, becoming a significant player into all of these revenue opportunities as we move forward. Our, other verticals, also continue to do reasonably well. The Terra vertical, which is the geosynthetic vertical, the revenue increased from almost 5 to 7.5 crore rupees in this quarter of this year, a growth of approximately almost 48%. This business growth is also testament to our technical expertise, execution capability, and access to specialized infrastructure opportunities. These rainy days also keeps reminding us about the opportunity which exists in this segment. The amount of, landslides which we see in the hilly terrains provides a significant opportunity in terms of what needs to be done using geosynthetics as a medium. Similarly, with the rains, with the floods which comes in several parts of India, keeps giving us the opportunity of how do we ensure the flood embankments and those kind of things which gets built. This combination is strategically between various of our businesses. The combination is strategically very important. Example would be, for Patna Park, which we have been constructing, we have been able to use our geosynthetic expertise to do a landfilling of a place which otherwise could not have been used for development of a park. And we have been able to embed that kind of a knowledge into our park business as well. Similarly, in many of our parks now we are able to position a recycling plant which was being done, our water related businesses built into the park business. This combination of geosynthetics and water blending into park also gives us a very unique positioning into that segment. And while we continue to pursue the importance of developing these parks, we also believe the importance of geosynthetics and the water recycling remains very high. Our outlook going ahead looks fairly encouraging from multiple perspectives. Our scale in the creative park development and operations is increasing significantly as we are going ahead. Our recurring revenues are increasing, for matter of record, we in the last whole year, we would have done around 8 crores of recurring revenue. In this one quarter itself, we are touching a revenue of close to 4 crores, and with many other parks which are slated to open in coming months, we expect that our recurring revenue should be growing almost 5 times compared to the last financial year, which builds upon into our annuity model. We continue to work towards how do we, focus towards cash efficiencies and cash generation. Our focus remains is to do quick executions and move to the operation side of the business. We have been constantly working towards it. And at the same time, we have also been able to have a very diversified project pipeline across all our businesses. We have entered into new states. Just last week, we started our, first park in Jammu and Kashmir at, Jammu, called Tavi Wonderland, with a very thunderous market response, and which proves our strategy that there is a need for such parks across the country. With that, now I invite, Isha Chaudhary, our CFO, to probably take us through the financial performance of Q1FY27. Isha, over to you.
Thank you, Sunilji. Good afternoon, everyone. I will now walk you through our consolidated financial performance for the quarter ended June 30, 2026. So, our revenue from operations stood at 29.14 crore in Q1 FY27 as against 20.448 crore in Q1 FY26. It grew strongly by 42.29% year-on-year growth. Total income increased to 31.19 crore in Q1 FY27 compared with 20.58 crore in Q1 FY26, reflecting a healthy 51.55% YOY growth. EBITDA excluding other income stood at 6.65 crore, up from 5.02 crore in the corresponding quarter last year, representing 32.47% YOY growth. EBITDA margin was 22.82% in Q1 FY27 compared with 24.51% in Q1 FY26. Our profit before tax increased to 6.05 crore compared with 4.76 crore in Q1 FY27, marking a 27.10% YOY growth. Then profit after tax improved to 4.05 crore from 3.04 crore in same quarter last year, reflecting a 33.22% YOY growth. Our PAT margin stood at 13.90% in Q1 FY27 compared with 14.84% in Q1 FY26. Lastly, our basic EPS for the quarter increased to 2.79 per share compared with 2.12 per share in Q1 FY26. So the quarter reflects healthy growth in both the top line and profitability. At the same time, the higher finance cost and depreciation recorded during the quarter had an impact on margins. And we remain focused on improving operating efficiency as the year progresses. With that, I now open the floor to any question you may have. Thank you for your time and continued support.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on the touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to ensure that the management is able to address questions from all participants in the conference, please limit your questions to 2 per participant. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Ashwini from Casa Capital. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Yes. Actually, I was about to ask that why has the presentation not been uploaded, but it has just been uploaded like a second ago on the exchange, so I'll go through that. But I just have a couple of questions. If you can just give a rough guidance of number of parks which will be opened this year, and not only open, I mean from which we'll get the recurring revenue, and total number of order wins and total pipeline. If you can give a bit of guidance on that would be helpful.
Are you looking for only the park information or for the overall guidance for the entire business?
Overall guidance will also be very helpful, no doubt about that.
Yeah. So, as of now, the inquiry funnel across all our businesses remains close to around 1,500 plus crores, which includes parks, which includes geotech, which includes the water part of the business, The current year number of parks opening, we are, reasonably sure to probably open anywhere close to 25 to 30 operating parks by end of March. There are already, 3 parks which are ready for inauguration at any given point of time. There are around 7 parks which are already under construction at various stages. With all that, we are, sure that different months we will open different parks. With also now, 2 states which are going on, election by February, there is a lot of pressure on both the order finalization and possibly start before the code of conduct happens, which should help in terms of creating little more flywheel effect for the business,
Yeah, thank you. I'll go to the presentation and get back in the queue.
Sure.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Dhairya Trivedi from DJT Investments. Please go ahead.
Hi, Sunilji. Thanks for taking my question.
Sure.
You mentioned 25 to 30 parks. So is this the total number that we are looking at by the end of FY27? So 30 operational parks?
We are talking about the operational park by end of the year. Means the total number of parks which will operate.
Okay, so basically the number that was 8 at the end of FY26 will go to 30 by the end of FY27, right?
Yes.
Okay, understood. And also with regards to the geotech business, the progress has been a little slow in Q1. So is this, something to do with seasonality or, there's something more to it?
No, it's largely, as you will appreciate that most of these businesses which have, issues around outdoor construction, the months during construction and prior to construction and this time because of the intense heat also, probably the work has been a little slow, but we are more than confident to probably, reach our numbers, in geotech business itself we are, doubling this year. In terms of the order book and everything else which we have.
Okay, so if you could just give some, estimate on what we are looking at in terms of revenues from the park business and the geotech business at the end of FY27?
The total revenue which we are looking at across all our businesses is around 250 odd crores, and which includes around 75 crores or so from the geotech and the water business together, and the balance probably from the park side of the business.
Sure. And any delays that we are seeing in the execution of the park business as of now?
We are not seeing any delay in the execution. We see delay in terms of the inauguration, and which is something which I feel is, beyond our control. Just an example, probably last week, Jammu Park got inaugurated by Honorable CM Umar Abdullah ji, but the park has been lying ready for almost several months, and finally, whenever the right time for him, they inaugurated it, and we are seeing significant response. Similarly, right now, there are almost 4 parks which are ready to inaugurate, and we are waiting for some confirmation or other from the political wing to probably give us the time to inaugurate. Now, these models, because these parks are being done in a PPP model, and where the government is putting the majority capex, we really do not have, we can't probably force our view that nahi, abhi chalu karo, ban ke ready hai. Because end of the day, land belongs to them and they have put the majority capex, so we need to hear their views as well.
Right. And just one last question on the blended EBITDA margins of the parks business and the Geotech. If you can just, throw some light on what the margins are likely to be in FY27, please.
EBITDA margin?
Yeah, EBITDA margin, please.
For this, it is pretty much going to be same as the last year. We might see 1 or 2% improvement with more, recurring revenue coming in. But at the same time, this is the time when company is building its bench strength for the recurring part of the business as more parks are coming in. So if you would have noticed even in the current year numbers, the increase in the salary, component, because we are continuously adding our strength in terms of doing the marketing events, activations, F&B, kids activities. And I think that's a part of the process before we start hitting, the recurring margins in excess of 35-40%,
Right. Sure. Thank you and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ashish Soni from Family Office. Please go ahead.
Sir, you said 1,500 crores of pipeline. So can you bifurcate how much is parks and other, and what's the win rate possible on that?
The park, our total order booking intake planned for this year is around 320 crores. Out of, the parks which we bid this year, Inquiry Bank, Isha, would be how much? Around close to 400, 500?
Around 450.
Around 450 crore is this thing, and the rest all is the geosynthetics part of the business, where we have started bidding for some of the projects directly for the landslides and the flood embankment,
And the second question, the guidance-wise, I think initial commentary, you said there is push from government to open the parks faster, or maybe develop the parks faster. But in your opening remarks, you said the number of, or in the one answer to one of the questions, you said 25 to 30 parks. So why can't that number be like it's a range now? Is it some park you're having some challenges in terms of opening or closure this year? I'm just trying to understand that piece.
No, so, there are two different point of view here, Now, even if government is pushing us to probably see that the park gets opened before the election code of conduct kicks in, there are a lot of steps which needs to be taken before that at the government level itself, which starts with the tendering process itself. While it's easier said and done by the people at the top, but sometimes the tendering process itself takes much longer. So our point to the government is that we need, 4 to 6 months to probably start a, park. Now, if you are able to do it within that period, if you get me an award within that period, I'll be able to do it. Number one. Number two, the election dates, as of now, they are scheduled for sometime in February, but let's say if that happens in January or might get preponed to December, there's nothing much I can do. So the guidance which I'm talking about, 25, 30 parks, is something which I have very clear visibility.
Okay. And
so if you go through one of the slide in the presentation, there are 9 already, the full 100% operational park, 4 which are ready to inaugurate, that makes it 13, 7 which are under construction, so that makes it 20. There are 3 which are at the award stage, which makes it 23. Now, this 23, we have a absolute clear visibility. Now, basically, there are around 11 parks which are already entered the tendering stage. Now, if the tender gets awarded in next 1 month, we will be able to do, if not 11, at least half of them. That makes the number 30 now.
Okay, fair enough. So, any color on FY28? Because I think you're sticking to the guidance, what I understand in the opening remarks. So, FY28, what's the plan in terms of growth and maybe margins or the recurring revenue for the parks?
Difficult to probably say because, the growth is so heady. anything which I say right now probably becomes sometimes counterproductive. But, our park business, I continue to probably see that we should be doubling every year for at least next 3 to 5 years without any doubt. So if I'm going to do almost 150, 175 crores, so you're looking at 300, 350 crores purely out of the park business. And the rest probably, if I take even 50% growth in the other business, we are looking at close to 450 to 500 crores in the subsequent years.
Okay. Any update on the acquisition you are planning, or because you dropped the earlier acquisition on the water body, so any update on the acquisition front?
As I mentioned in my previous call, probably because the technology didn't seem to be probably effective, we decided to, back out of, that acquisition. We continuously evaluate, but there is nothing which I would say is right now on the horizon,
Okay, sir. All the best for the future.
Thank you. Hello?
The next question is from the line of Ronak Bansal from Nova Orbit Advisory. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I wanted to know, in the coming quarter, in the coming year, what will be our revenue bifurcation from all the three segments? What are we looking at?
In the coming year, as I mentioned just now, for the previous, question, that we are looking at, almost doubling the park business and at least 50% growth in our, engineered vertical. So with that, number should be somewhere in the range of almost 400 to 500 CR.
And sir, in the parks business, what would be your bifurcation from the EPC, and what are we expecting from the operations part, given that we have already operational 8-9 parks and few will open this year as well?
So, our current year numbers from the operation is around, target for this year is around 40 CR. This is in comparison to 8 crores in last year. So which is almost, 5 times growth. So if I look at overall my total park revenue of around 130 crores or construction and around 40 crores out of this thing, 170, probably we are talking about 25 odd % as a, revenue from the recurring operations this year. Next year it can go high to almost 40%. I think in 3 years, probably it should stabilize at that around 60% of our revenue comes from the recurring side and 40% or 50-50 at best.
And so final question.
Because so, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Yes, please.
Yes, sir. My final question would be, sir, like in FY25, we were guiding for 20-25 parks by end of FY26. Now that goalpost has shifted to FY27. So, sir, what are the key challenges? Like you have already mentioned the inauguration part, but apart from that,
Other key challenges.
How are we looking to correct it now that again that same goalpost has been shifted?
No. So I don't think goalpost has necessarily shifted. I believe that the numbers whichever we have been talking about, we are pretty much in the range of that. Number one. Number two, the challenge which I see is remaining around land. Now, in the land, there are a couple of parts where we are already awarded, but the construction and the operation is getting delayed because of the land-related issues. Now, today, if I need to probably remain affordable, I have little choice than to probably rely on the government to give us the land. Now, in the land, that there are times, where the land titles and all is not even clear within the government. And so that takes its own sweet time to resolve because then there is an executive body involved, there is a political body involved. But to probably overcome this, going forward, we are also looking at, at least trying out some franchise-based model as well. Because over a period of last 2 years, a lot of people have approached us saying that we have the land and we don't mind putting capital. Can you help put up a plant and put up a park? And you can possibly run it. But we have the land and we want it to be done in a way that it's a temporary construction. So even if I set up a park for next 10 years and operate where somebody is giving the land and the capital, it becomes a very good recurring model for us. And I have no dependency on the government in that point of case, So we are working on that model as well. We are fine-tuning the details in terms of our offering. That will also help sometimes, having our current dependency on the government giving us the land.
So when can we expect any particular order or some park or execution on this front?
Very difficult to say at this point of time because we just started, answering those queries, and probably we are fine-tuning the model, the responsibilities, everything. And we are also considering that which probably would be the best city to target to start with. So I expect that in this year we should be able to at least start one park on this model, You need to keep in mind that we are talking about a completely new category which did not exist in this country. This country had only two types of parks. Either there were free parks provided by the government, or there are amusement parks which probably the ticket is around 800 to 1200 rupees. We are talking about a category which is very affordable. And when you're starting a new category, sometimes you learn on the go, you make corrections, you make improvisations, and you probably keep fine-tuning your offering, And I think that is what we have done. And I feel that probably our execution capability has been reasonably, appreciated by the marketplace, both by the government and by the end users of our parks,
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. I hope, sir, all the targets you're
Thank you.
telling this year would surely meet. And so one final request that could you please, like earlier we used to post in our PPT, the list of parks which are operational and the parks which are upcoming and the order book. So that we are not uploading since the last two PPTs.
No,
So I think
there
that if you could post that.
what is operational, we definitely, is there on our website. What probably there which is, under construction or probably probable which are there, certain, government bodies, because we work with them, they said you only put it after it becomes operational. Don't necessarily put that in the, open domain till the park gets started. Because in one case where probably we started doing the construction and all, somebody got involved. I won't want to name the place, but then, currently the land issue came up there. So all the operational parks are there on our website.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you for answering the question.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Vikas Khurana, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hello, is I audible?
Yes, Vikas, you are very audible.
First, I want to congratulate the entire ZTech team for the wonderful numbers. Okay. Sir, I got most of my questions answered. I have one thing. I just want to know how our earlier parks are doing as part of generating annuity revenues. We have 9 parks. So the parks which are older, how they are doing? Is there a growth? I just want some clarity on that.
Other than one of our park, which is called Harmony Park in Lucknow, all parks are, compared. So when I do month-to-month comparison, we are doing better. But as far as the park industry is concerned, probably, for example, the rainy season is not probably the best month for the parks to operate. But considering, we are an experimental company, we have now, for example, tried, in any of our park, you go, we offer, raincoat for 20 rupees, So you can buy a raincoat, or poncho and wear it and probably actually visit the park. Now this is something new which we are trying, There are, in many parts of northern India, there is an intense summer heat. So in couple of our parks, we have tried to put the misting system so that the park becomes cooler and better to experience, So we are trying out all these things, and also because you need to, appreciate that we have a 20-year run rate into these parks. So we are continuously trying to see that what new we can bring into our parks, what new experiences which we can give so that we can keep driving repeat visitors into our parks. Harmony Park, in cases where probably we have the, low footfall, part of the reason might be is that the location, and that is why we have been very clear in terms of choosing our location. When we did the Harmony Park, we were told that lot of, development is happening in that place and probably we will have very good footfall and all that. But I think that development is probably kind of a slow. Having said that, there we have been now trying, model of doing, lot of these events. We have got permission to do a banqueting there so that we can maximize our revenue while the footfall picks up. So we have overall, I would say almost 90% success rate in terms of the parks doing well, And the rest in case is also kind of a learning,
Yes, sir. This is very insightful. Just follow-up question on this. The older park, is there still, which are operational for last 1 year, is there still a growth uptick if you see month on month or something like that? Second part is the revenue generated by these parks from these activities like events, F&B, and other activities. Is the revenue also shared with the government? And if yes, what's the ratio?
No, so, month by month, we do see, the growth happening because we have also developed the team to probably do these events, activities. Our marketing campaigns have become better. We have multiple of those things which are happening as we speak, Having said that, let's say my ambition is that we should do one event a park, which means every week there is something happening. Are we able to do it? Probably not yet. We have still some way to go in terms of having either our own team or probably better tie-ups that we can do more event. We have to conceptualize and we have to execute that. But, overall, I personally feel that people need outdoor spaces. And now with the new regulations which are coming in various part of the country, various part of the world in terms of children under, 16 not being allowed to probably use their mobile phones and all. I feel some regulations will also come in India, which will help kids to probably spend more time outdoors. So overall, the whatever is there in the environment is very helpful to, build outdoor arenas, So, for example, we built our second sports arena at Noida. We are very close to probably getting a pet park, in our kitty. So, as a company, we continue to probably, target more and more outdoor spaces and probably offer people choices.
And sir, one, as you explained, the pricing of the ticket, is it same for the entire week or is it dependent on the weekday versus weekend, say 50 rupees on weekend or maybe
Majority of our parks, have I would say not majority, 60% of our parks have ticket of, lesser, dominion on weekdays and hire on the weekends to probably better control the crowd. In some parks, we have a flat rate, across all days of the week. And so that's something which we continuously continuously evaluate to see what makes the maximum sense,
Okay. Yeah, that's all, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
And all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Achyut from Rockstar Equity Research. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hello, sir. My first question is regarding the car. Once you construct the car, how many years we have contract for maintaining it, sir? What if government change their mind and give the operations and maintenance to other companies? Is it possible like that?
No, so majority of our parks are for 20 years, and these are contractual documents. Government can't change unless until we probably do something terribly wrong there. And if there is an event of default, which I don't see any of such things probably in our case. And so we continue to have the period of 20 years. In couple of cases, we have taken more like 5+5 or 10+10 because we ourselves wanted to see and learn whether is that city has the potential or not. But I would say 80-90% of our contracts have 20 years as a period.
Okay. And how much percentage of revenue we need to pay to the government?
Again, it varies. It varies from park to park. It varies from a point of view of how much we have invested. It also, in some cases, we don't share the revenue. We only pay a monthly rental.
Okay. And sir, I have read the previous phone call transcript. There you have mentioned that your goal is to make 100 parks, and each park will generate approximately 2 to 3 crore revenue in next 3 years, I think so. Are you still on track to achieve that?
Yeah, we're definitely on track, and we are continuously improving, and I feel the opportunity is much larger. So we need to figure out a way that can we expedite that.
Okay. And sir, currently in the investor presentation, you have mentioned 9 operation parks. So in this financial year, like in FY27, so we will be able to generate around 18 to 27 crores PAT from this park, sir, because one park should give 2 to 3 crores PAT, right?
No, sir. Let me talk about, see, 2-3 things, when I talk about an annual revenue, it is for a period of 12 months, which means it has gone through every season of the year. And I feel reasonably confident that we will be able to achieve that. And that includes the ticketing, that includes the other recurring revenues. Government has their ticket share,
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Shubham Agarwal from Lattice. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yes, please.
Hi. So I had a question on the last park order that you have filed with the exchange, I think, in Lucknow. That had a 50% project cost from ZTech side. So is this a one-off thing that you're doing, or do you think going forward this will be the model you will be following? Like there will be a 50% capex investment
No,
on
it
the
is.
ZTech side?
No, it is always a one-off. We take the decision in terms of the investment based on how attractive is the location and how much flexibility we have in terms of our revenue streams. So as far as the Lucknow order is concerned, we don't do a ticket revenue share. Isha, is that correct?
Yes. We are giving fixed rental.
So we are only giving a fixed rental. We are in the heart of the city, we are on a riverfront, and the contract has a lot of flexibility built in. And because of that, we chose to probably invest little higher than usual. In the other Lucknow parks, our investments were in the range of around 26 odd %. In this case, we chose to go little higher, seeing the strategic advantage of the location and the terms and conditions of the contracts which we could negotiate.
Okay. Okay, understood. And second question I had was on the working capital days and the receivable days. Do you see some improvement in Q1 as compared to, like, the last 2-3 years?
We have improved. I would not say that, probably it is at the most, desirable stage. So as I mentioned in the earlier call also, what is most critical for, whether it's, Isha or whether it's for Sanghamitra ji or for, anyone in the company, is that we do not want our, debtors of 180 days and more, Our total 180 days and above debtors are only, 15%, of the overall debtors, So we are improving, and we continue to have very strong focus on that.
Great. Just one question I had on, like, I think, like, the business we are in, the opportunities are endless, and I think what you're guiding also in terms of growth percentages are great. I just wanted to understand, like, as we go forward, like, when do you see the capital needs of the business becoming more self-reliant? As in, like, what I'm trying to say is, when do you see us being able to fund most of the capital from our side and, like, not having to take as much maybe debt or investment from outside? Like, when do you think that operating leverage will start to kick in for our business?
I think by FY 27-28, I think once we reach a recurring revenue of almost 35-40%, we shouldn't be in a sufficient cash generating situation.
Okay. Okay. And just one more question I had on, like, if you get an award today, what is the rough timeline where you can execute that part? Like, is it possible in the same financial year, or, like, what is the rough guideline you guys have?
No, we definitely can execute any project provided land is clearly available to us in a 6 months period, In fact, the park which got inaugurated by, Honorable Prime Minister was built in 4 months. The pitch which we have given recently into various head of states is that you give us any park, we guarantee delivery within 180 days.
Okay. Okay, I think that's
So the company has built enough execution skill set and the team to probably deliver that. And as I have always been saying, that our next level of learning is continuing on the part of how do you now operate those parks very successfully, in terms of the F&B, the activities and all those kind of things. And I think there we are making significant progress, but, we are still probably, some miles to achieve.
Right. And are we following the soft launch policy that we were talking about, where, like, if the head of state or, like, whoever is supposed to inaugurate is not available, we soft launch the park and then maybe hard launch it later when the date is given by the government official?
See, we are facing some resistance on that count. And the reason being is because majority capex is being put by them. And also, our parks have become in many places as a matter of pride. I'll, give you an example of, the Jammu Park, which got inaugurated. Now today, it has become such a hit destination that everybody who is coming into Jammu, other than their local population, is hanging out there. Now that waited because they were very clear that it has to be inaugurated by the Honorable CM. Now I have to live with them for 20 years. I can't be forcing my views. नहीं अभी शुरू कर दो, soft launch कर दो. वो soft launch करने के बाद में they feel that बाद में interest dies down. So we have basically now 4 parks which are ready to inaugurate.
Got it. I think our concept is amazing. I visited your jungle park in Noida. Great ambience and facilities created. If we can just look at how we can efficiently optimize the timelines for the park inauguration, I think we will be doing an amazing job business-wise, revenue-wise, and profit after tax-wise. Good luck, sir, for the future.
Thank you. Thank you for your compliments.
Thank you. Participants who wish to ask questions may press star and one at this time. As there are no further questions from the participants, I now hand the conference over to Ms. Sanghamitra Borgohain for closing comments.
I thank you so much, and thank you, Sunilji. I believe Sunilji could address all the inquiries to all the stakeholders. And to conclude, the Q1 for financial year 27 has given us the encouraging start to year and validates the strategic direction we have chosen. We delivered healthy growth in revenue and profitability while continuing to build the foundations for a larger operating platform. Our focus remains on scaling creative park development and operations, strengthening the engineered infra, and steadily increasing the share for recurring and operating revenues in our business's mix. We believe the next phase of ZTech India's journey will be defined not only by the project we execute, but by the assets we operate, and the experiences we create, and the long-term value we build around them. On behalf of the entire team, I would like to thank all our investors, shareholders, employees, clients, government partners, and associates for their continued trust and support. We look forward to updating you on our progress in the coming quarters. Thank you so much for the amazing session. Thank you once again for being part of ZTech India journey.
Thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of ZTech India Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.
Thank you.